Uh, yeah, have a little bit of a late start tonight because I forgot to preload the game onto my PS4. I forgot that the first time I got The Evil Within, it the frame rate was so bad on the PS4 that the first large village section was largely unplayable because it was so choppy. I think it dropped down to like 10 frames per second, right? And so this was the first game that I got on PS4 that I returned to the store so I could buy it on PC and have it at a fixed frame rate. And yeah, I was looking all over the place, like, why don't I have my physical copy of this game? And it turns out it's because I gave it back. I returned it to Target and turned that $60 right back around and put it into Steam. So yeah, welcome. So we are evening, Ark. Thank you for your patience and my delinquency. So, as always, opening up with the week's reading and media intake. I finished this, Lords of Discipline, which is a stellar book. This is amazing. It is a very rough ride in many parts. Deals with a lot of hazing in a South Carolina military college in the mid 60s. So there's a lot of stuff regarding the spirit of the times and the struggles that they're going through that were, reflected as they were then, both in language and in event. But the story that's told is amazing. The characters are compelling, and it's a really great illustration of how people can be brought toxically into a toxic system and simultaneously resist and reinforce it. It's very complex, and it doesn't moralize. Excuse me. It doesn't moralize. So highly recommend it. Evening, Theodore. It is good to see you. I almost always only see you on Twitter, so it's good to have you in chat here. Moving on from Lords of Discipline, I've just decided I'm going to read everything that Conroy wrote, and I'm going to try and do that in about 2 or 3 months. They're surprisingly fast. Next one is South of Broad, which is South of Broad is a street in Charleston, and the neighborhood to the south of it is the Old Money neighborhood, the aristocrats who can trace their lineage back to like the second boat of European, immigrants who who landed on the continent. And it has a lot to do with the contrast in South Carolina, at least, between the old money, old society that nonetheless survived the devastation of the Civil War because Sherman didn't march through and burn everything down in Charleston, and the modern world that has grown up outside of its class distinctions. And I got to tell you what, if you're going to plow through a single writer's oeuvre, I can't speak French, so that's the closest I can get to that accent. It does you really well to read their biggest, thickest, just most time-consuming book first, because then you look at the next one, and you're like, oh, this is only 450 pages, and it's just like this good morale boost, right? So yeah, read Prince of Tides first. It's huge. Also continuing to plow through Something Wicked This Way Comes, which, by not covering him up, Ray Bradbury, and that, again, is excellent. Bradbury's style is very different from Conroy's. And on the watching list this week, there is All Is Lost, starring Robert Redford, and which is very good, has exactly 1 line of dialogue, and the 1971 Peter Brook version of King Lear, which is fantastic. It is amazing. I don't know if it's available in the US region, but if you have a PAL player or a computer that can play a PAL DVD, absolutely get it. The setting is fantastic because it sets King Lear in the environments that are very much like the pre-Roman English settlements, where you don't really realize when you think about historical events like in England and in much of Scandinavia and in much of continental Europe, that there was a time when everything they were fighting for was exactly 4 stone walls, maybe some wood, and a lot of cows. And that's it. That's what you're king of. And so it's like, it's not really the glamorous Arthurian legend. It's just like you know, this is all people have, and it's a very scrappy survival. And so the drama is entirely about what goes on between people and not about possessions. And so it's a really good version. Highly recommended. So yeah, that brings up that summary to date. We're doing again Evil Within, one of my favorite games. I wrote a long, extended. I should stop using long. That discourages people. I wrote an in-depth. That's marketing. Assessment analysis of The Evil Within 2, its sequel, and the argument that I put forth in that depends on this game and some knowledge of it, familiarity with it, and ideally the body's remembered, clenched up stress of dealing with the horrors that this game throws at Sebastian and you by proxy. So I'm really glad that we're streaming this. It's a personal favorite, and I hope it becomes one of yours as well. I hope this, if you haven't played it, I hope this encourages you to try it out. I don't know where my controller is. There it is. So, okay. Yeah, let's get this turned over. Oh. All right. So, again, because I've been shifting consoles back and forth, the what do you call it? Audio balancing has been adjusted a few times. So again, if the game is too quiet or if there's too much competition between my voice and it, please let me know and I'll hop back in and adjust it. This is a nice touch. I like this very much for the opening. Oh wait, I didn't intend to do that. Buddy, send me back. There we go. Yeah, I like opening sequences that let you look around the environment if it is in fact set in an environment for the start screen. Resident Evil 7 doesn't do that exactly, but it does if you're in VR. You can still look around, and it's really cool. Yes, Ark, you are correct. Long means nothing when it's compared to the Killer 7 FAQ. That thing is like 65 pages long. Yeah, man, I think I did one editing pass on that, and that's it. And that editing pass was not to cut things out. I went back and I looked at that thing around the time the PC version of Killer 7 came out, because all of a sudden that document got quite a bit more traction than it has in, you know, since like 2009, which is about the time its sort of currency fell out. Yeah, man, I was just putting ideas on a page, and most of them cohered. Yes, this is a fantastic start screen, and yeah, Ark, you can pass the Killer 7 FAQ. I mean, there's been so many more people of a newer generation of gamers who have since played it, that and they've developed a fan community. It's entered into modern gaming with the PC release that, you know, not to speak ill of my old work, but there's more thoughts out there. There are more thoughts out there than just mine. Evening, Phoenicia. Yes, the second game is very good. If you are interested, if you go to deltaheadtranslation.com/memory of fire, there's in-depth analysis, just in case you missed it, me dropping it a second ago, in-depth analysis of that game's narrative as an extension of this game that you might enjoy. But this game is worth playing. It does get ragged on a bit for being clunkier and less sophisticated. I can see those complaints. I happen to like a particular kind of jank, in particular the kind of jank that comes from Japanese developers uniquely. There's just something about the way that, especially coming out of the PS1 and PS2 era, they sort of like forge their own engines that wind up being clunky in just the right way that's very charming and dear to my heart. PC RE7 does not have a VR mode. Oh yeah, that's true. It's PSVR exclusive, which is, I mean, amazing, because I mean RE7 is one of the best VR experiences I know of, and having been a VR developer and researched it, researched VR extensively, that's putting it among a lot of titles. Thank you, Theodore. I appreciate the direct link. Works better than my having to my spelling it out. So yeah, here we go. This is a procedural start screen, very cool. And you still have the ability to look around. These start screens are, I think they're recalled in certain scenes in Resident Evil 2, Evil Within 2. Do I have any of my old games on here? No, I don't. Yeah, this scene in particular is... Ooh, I like that. Never noticed that before. The wheelchair kind of doing that bump thing. That's cool. And I'm actually looking at its shadow, and I'm kind of curious if that's like an effect of like the fluorescence, kind of doing this little flicker thing, or if that's... if there's anything else that's going to happen there. Oh, I can look around here too. Procedural in the sense of, you know, not procedural in the roguelike sense, where it's like developed spontaneously or, you know, as you go along, but it's an environment. You press a button, you move from one menu layer to the next, and it moves you through. And I think that's very cool. It sort of makes even that UI experience immersive. I think that's neat. And I'm sorry, I don't do that. Standard difficulty. I still have not beaten this on Akumu difficulty. Yeah, I didn't think ahead of time that like procedural actually has a very specific meaning. These load screens are great. I like them a lot. When you play it on PC, the game loads so quickly that you barely get to see them, and it's a shame. I like that. Melee attacks are defensive and best used as a last resort.
All units, 1199, expedite cover code 3, Deacon Mental Hospital.
184 copy, code 3, ETA 3 minutes.
Copy 184.
So let's go ahead and check this out early. How's the volume on this for you guys?
Sorry, detectives. I know you're just coming off a case, but I'm afraid we're gonna have to make a detour.
Sounds serious.
Weak?
Is it
Okay.
quiet?
Call went out just before I picked you up.
Let's
Said
do
it was
this then.
multiple homicide.
Because it is not worth missing. Let's hop that back up and let me bump the volume up. Oh, loading screen tip was weak. Okay, gotcha. Then, yeah, if the volume's okay, then we'll stick with that. Oh, universal remote control. One of these days, it's coming. But let's go ahead and do this. Really curious to see. Yeah, let's go ahead and show them. Auto. Yeah, that's good. Controls. It's fine. No, this was... Oh, I'm remembering now. This was one of the reasons why I got the PC version. Because you could turn this off. Like, they letterboxed it so that it had a more cinematic experience. And this was met with just kind of like overwhelming audience pushback because, you know, in a survival horror game, you need as much information as possible, especially if attacks are coming from above and below. So there's like, I don't know, like a fifth or 2/5 of your screen's real estate that you don't have access to because of the letterboxing. And that was extremely aggravating. I kept dying in many instances that I felt were completely unearned. And so another reason besides the frame rate that I bought the PC version was you can turn this off. They patched that in smartly. Yeah, that's good. Good. Glad I caught that. Nifty.
184 copy, code 3, ETA 3 minutes.
Copy 184.
I've never noticed the visual effect they have at the bottom of the letterboxing when the subtitles come up, where it sort of
detectives. I know
softens
you're
the
just
edge.
coming off a case, but I'm afraid we're gonna have to make a detour.
Sounds serious. Is it a riot?
A call went out just before I picked you up. Said it was multiple homicides. Half a dozen units already on scene.
131, please advise.
Hey, maybe it's the ghost of that doctor who went schizo and chopped up all those patients.
That's not what happened. Some patients disappeared. Some kind of scandal?
Still, gives you the creeps, doesn't it?
127, 124, please respond.
Joseph, you think there's a connection?
It's a possibility. I believe the records were sealed.
Anyone on scene?
Yeah, this guy does not meet a good fate.
Dispatch, this is Detective Castellanos in 184. What's the situation? Over.
184, be advised. Some problems, Chimon, son of Deacon Memorial.
Is there any...
God damn it! Jesus!
Now that piercing whine is significant story-wise.
Detective Kidman. Any thoughts?
Nothing yet. I'm sure we'll know everything once we get there.
Evening, Roundelay. It's good to see you. And not designed for legibility. It is a little more stylized than the standard sort of block character fonts. Not block width, but you know, the sort of simple straight line typefaces that they use for these things.
What do you make of it?
Connolly, contact dispatch and let them know what's happening. Joseph, Kidman, you're with me. We're gonna have a look around.
Right.
Well, just for one more check-in on feedback between the subtitle size and the audio, are you able to follow what's happening here? I mean, yeah, these guys might as well be in Seattle for the lack of umbrellas that there are. I gotta say, I kind of like the jaunty handheld camera feeling that this has. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Theodore. Yeah, you know, honestly, even among games on the same system, you just don't know what their internal volume is set at, how their mixing is, so it's a toss-up. So let's see. I can't do anything yet. This is just me walking around. Okay, Sebastian is one of my favorite characters. I don't even know whose accent that is. Certainly none that I've been raised in. Sebastian is one of my favorite characters, video game characters, period. In large part because of how the second game develops him. He, you know, he's got that gruff masculinity, but he's really not doing well.
Stay sharp.
And it's, I know some people tire
Check it out.
of the
Don't let anyone else through this door.
I can be
overcompensating,
an extra
gruff,
set of eyes.
We don't know what's
distanced,
happening here.
masculine character whose own toughness oppresses them. You know, it's kind of a Joel Miller thing from Last of Us. But it's a character type that interests me and that I get a lot of emotional attachment out of. Oh man, if we were Travis Grady, we could pick that up and use that as a weapon and then put it right in our back pocket. I can only imagine that man's last words were, "I'm trying to read here." Deckard in 2048? Yes, that's true. Now, given the color palette, I'm not sure that gray is... I think that gray is maybe the most flamboyant that they allow here. And that is a lot of blood! think what's interesting and strange about this is how many, like, there's obviously piles of bodies, but there are so many. That's a neat detail I've never noticed before. The kind of blood dripping from the wound. Is how many of these people were clearly like caught off guard. Yeah, that's a nice detail. Also looks like we've got a, can't really zoom in with the controls that I have access to, but they've got kind of a blood drip there. Though, I'm actually, let's see, what's the dimension on that? Yep, it's falling down, straight line.
Are you injured? What happened here?
Can't be real. Impossible.
This guy looks so much like Anthony Hopkins.
I've got him. The security cameras might tell us something.
We all hope we say something witty like that when we go out around. And I hope that there's someone there to record our quips. It's interesting. I'm just like looking at the camera shake, the dramatic camera shake, and it seems like, oh, weird. They actually are letting me explore the broader environment using the crawling cinematic experience of a forced walk with the camera jostling. So theoretically, I'm not going to do it, but I could go all the way back to the entrance at this excruciating pace. Interesting. Yeah, Ark. I feel like they would have normally have put like a barrier there.
What the hell?
I've always taken that as Sebastian getting stabbed in the eye, which, man, I don't like people touching my eyes in a medical setting, and I think getting stabbed in the eye would be one of the most psychologically upsetting things. The Earl of Gloucester in King Lear gets his eyes put out for presumed treachery, and it is one of the most excruciating things to watch, depending on your version. And it's getting good mileage out of simultaneously not having to show him cut things and also evoking it. It's good stuff. And yeah, one of the things I like about this game very much is how it doesn't waste any time. And I think that was one of the things that a lot of people disliked about it. Yeah, that looks like that's one of the patrol cops based off the uniform. Yeah, I don't know if I've said enough how much I love this game. Like, the weird and strange appeal to me greatly. So this game was meant for me. Oh, God. I mean, not only is he falling on his back, he's falling on his back with equipment back there, right? With attachments and belts and things, and it's just gotta be just horrifying. Okay. I really like the lighting in this game. It manages to have a dreamlike, almost comic book feeling to it, with the harsh shadows in kind of like a, almost kind of like a No More Heroes way at times. Oh, shit. Oh. Yep. Oh yeah, it's gross. If that sort of thing bothers you. Yeah. This is the kind of game that brings out my language. Never touch my ordinary keys. Yes, Theodore, I agree. I think Sebastian's face is very characteristic. I actually like his longer face. We're just gonna... his face is longer in this one than it is in The Evil Within 2, and I actually like this design better. His Evil Within 2 kind of reminds me of the general shape of Christian Bale's face. Christian Slater's face, yeah, which seems a little too boyish for the kind of gruff, repressed character that Sebastian is. Evening, Toe. It's good to see you. Yeah, the head does pop off just like a Lego piece. This is, you can tell that's, you just separate that from the rest of the model. Let's see, where's our boy? Is he down there? Nope. Fella's gone on to greater things. I mean, you gotta respect the backups, right? This is something that, I don't know if they tutorialize this, but if you see here these sort of globules that are floating in the air that sort of drift across like little dust motes, those show up on the screen in the environment whenever you are near a trap. So if you're crawling along slowly and you happen to notice that one visual effect, then that means you need to look around. This one is unavoidable, but that's worth noting. It's also interesting that it is registered as a trap, to the extent that they will give you a warning because it's unavoidable. And it is also a PS4 game. That is the version that I'm playing right now. And here we go.
Shit.
God, this is so awful. I mean, nightmare-wise. God, they let the blades get so close to you as you move through. It's just excruciating. Oh God, like they do so many things here, like just right at the start that just gets under your skin, like spitting it out, that's gross, and also the whole like wound infection thing is just like the part of me that is very familiar with the majority of deaths during like medieval era, which is, you know, you, I don't know, got your shoulder out of joint and it got infected and therefore you're dead, is just, ugh, skin crawling. No, this is not Nightmare difficulty. I do not have any of my save files loaded onto this one, so we are playing right at standard. Evening Universal, and yes, I agree, it's so good. It's just like, they hit so many different horror feelings. Like, you know, like they've got the chase, they've got the chainsaw, fear, the delirium, the disorientation, the infection, the gross. What is this? Oh, there's nothing down there. Huh, weird. My cat must be pushing something around in the next room. It's also a really nice touch to kind of watch Sebastian sort of cinematically respond to things. Like that sound right there doesn't indicate an actual enemy's appearance, but he freaks out as though it does. It's very good. It's good performance. I also really like how thoroughly they commit to the injured leg here. Okay. I'm not seeing anything in here. So even though I played this game back and forth, I think I just said that I haven't played this in a while. So yeah, there's going to be a little bit of exploration for me here.
Where's the exit?
Ladder, which will take you to the old ward. If you can make it through there, you would find an elevator. Yeah, even though this is something that the way... how to start this. The levels in this game are very associative and very disjoined, and you shuttle back and forth between them in a way that you don't know what's dream and what's not. But they do it well by kind of starting you off in an asylum, and then the first weird space you're transported to looks like it could be part of the asylum, and uses all the same sort of like architectural signals and designs. So that's a stronger sort of way to ease the player into what is going to get progressively weirder, rather than just, you know, throwing you into something truly outrageous from the start. We live inside a dream. This is an awfully odd context to have that told to me. I mean, I assume that that's, I assume that you're telling me what is absolutely true about reality, and some people would think that it would come from extended periods of meditation and disowning the physical world on a mountaintop, and then you just drop it into Twitch chat. Bold move. Oh, man. You know, I don't think I've ever acknowledged this before, but whenever I'm in an environment that is just glistening like this, it kind of makes me feel like the building is sweating. And having had my share of humidity from growing up in the South, that itself conveys a sensory impression that the game might not intend, but is effective nonetheless. The gum you like is going to come back in style. Yeah, when there's a dancing man from another place, that's when you realize things are about to get a lot stranger. Who is the dreamer? Well, I think that remains to be seen. Obviously, whoever wins the brawl at the end of reality. I assume that every Every epistemological difference will be settled, as it ultimately is in a video game, by a fistfight in the middle of a minefield. Heidegger wrote that. Alright, well, we're being chased. Can't unsee building sweat? Well, I'm glad to have done you a valuable service. The Outlast inspiration section? Yeah, oh god, Outlast. I love survival horror, but I don't think I can play its sequel. That's too intense for me. Oh man, the way they choreograph that, it makes you think that he's coming right at you. It's brutal. Yes, Hussein. I do. I also wish that more academic disagreements were settled with fisticuffs. The ultimate argument settler. Oh, did Outlast come out a year before? Something that's interesting here, and we're going to try this, and it's a terrible idea. Oh, hold on. No! No. Okay. So, Sebastian's going to die, just to let you know what's up here. But I want to show you that this is possible. Actually, here. Can you? No, you can't reload. Come on, fella. And yes, whoever wins the fist fight has to provide their sweat for the building's use, because the building is the reality, and the dreamer has to provide the sweat for the dream. I actually was not aware that he roamed around this much for his patrol route. And I do want to thank everybody who shows up to my streams regularly for having the patience to endure my playstyle, which often involves watching it and seeing what happens, rather than just jumping full into action. The tomorrow you find out your toilet was sentient the whole time thought experiment. That is a thought experiment I have not heard of before. Alright, here we go. Alright, we're gonna do this. That's right.
Shit.
If you do this right... And it looks like I did. Yeah, so if you do that like 20 times, you can actually kill him here. I think it's closer to 15. But you can kill him here, and you get just like this tremendous goo payout. And it's kind of awesome. Evening, Viper. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Glad you're showing up at one of my favorite games. So yeah, but all the same, like, you have to take a real quick run. You have to run really quickly, have a very clear path.
Can't let him see me.
To your destination in order to make it safely. Let's hop in here real fast. Well, Viper, we do miss your company. On the other hand, congratulations on having that much work. A lot of people here would love to say the same. I wanted to go down there and do things like that, yes. Okay. God, this is excruciating. Come on, buddy. Whew. All right. Oh yeah, Viper. If you haven't played this one, this is a good one. This is very strange and weird. And this scene right here, if you play The Evil Within 2, like, knowing this whole build-up, having all that tension and anxiety, and having it lead to here, is just a huge part of, like, appreciating what that game is doing. Go, buddy. Oh, man. Man. I think the part of that last sequence that really clenched it for me was when he climbs over the the gurney and falls down, and you can see him trying to decide between, you know, tending to his wound and keeping moving. It's brutal. And that's like the opening sequence, right? We haven't even hit the title screen yet. It's so good. I wonder what else Keith Dwyer has done. I didn't catch the name of the first story person there. I don't think his name was featured there, but John Johannesson, I think that's his name. He was the guy who directed The Evil Within 2. Worked on this one as well, and on, I think it's one of the 8-4 podcasts, they interviewed him, and he said that, you know, he was a tester for this game because he was on the dev team, and he actually designed the mansion sequence that happens about a third of the way through, prior to, you know, obviously having full creative control over The Evil Within 2. But on a podcast, he said that there is actually an extra double dip hard difficulty that he as a tester was able to clear flawlessly, which is kind of insane because Akumu itself is brutally difficult. So yeah, this is one of the first major points of disorientation that makes you scratch your head and go, what? Because Sebastian's leg is fine, but he's also coming out of the same elevator. It's such a great touch. would be the cops that we saw murdered by Rubik. But we have not yet been introduced. Can I go back in here? I can, in fact, go back in here. Weird. Does it let me go in there? It does not. And for some info on how they handle sort of the drama and the cinematic pace, is running and walking are determined by the game. Like, there are areas you cannot run through. Bayonetta, interesting.
Detective! Get in! Get in!
Yeah, the main control you have over movement speed, I think it's stick sensitivity, and you can enter into a crouch and move stealthily, but that's it.
I waited, but please settle down, Leslie.
Settle down, Leslie. Settle down, Leslie. Settle down, Leslie.
Shit! There's no going back.
This sequence has a really great shot coming up that I just love. It's a the top-down angle is really cool, but yeah, this right here.
Shit.
That's so good. I love it. This has a lot of really cool moments like that, those reality bending moments that just make this game very special to me.
Damn it. Are we cut off from everyone?
Everyone must be dead.
Everyone all right back there?
Just a few bumps. We're fine. 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 Fine.
We will be once we're far away.
Gotta give credit to Oscar?
A little further and we'll be fine.
Who is Oscar? Or am I forgetting something that was just said?
Fine. Fine. Fine.
Is that Oscar?
Fine.
The guy who's driving the ambulance?
Fall! Fall!
Okay. Yeah. Oscar's got a bad fate, and, I mean, given how responsive he is in an emergency, this guy, had a promising future. All right. Oh yeah, the Alone in the Dark reboot. That's actually a game that I would like to stream because unlike this, it's very rough and is very buggy. But I totally see the connection you're describing with the weird tendrils and fissures running through the building and collapsing it and then sort of gradually eating away at the city. Yeah, totally. How Oscar the Grouch was born. Crawled from a wrecked ambulance into a trash can, and that's how he grumpily lived out his days. Okay, there we go. See, give me 1 second, 2-minute break. I'll be right back. Fine field of equipment. There we go. All right, back. Yeah, I agree. I think that I wish we had more nuanced awards like that as well. I think that people who really nail the supporting roles deserve the credit that they're often not given. The first part of this game, what we're about to go through, or rather Chapter 2, it makes me think of like, it's like Resident Evil 4 Part 2. And I dig it. Really like the dreamlike visual effects on here, where it sort of has that imprint that fades away even as the character models keep going. It makes Sebastian's vision seem to operate like a monitor or a screen. I think in retrospect, this reminds me of Bloodborne's opening, where your hunter is bound to a table and you have all the little helpers show up. The Jacob's Ladder gurney? That's a good question. Actually, hold on a second. Let me write that down. So, I typically have not watched many movies over the past years, but have begun revisiting that medium. I'm keeping a running list of movies that I would like to either watch or rewatch, and Jacob's Ladder is one of them. Mutilated Bodies, Elk River, Cause of Death, Mystery. And this is our first exposure to goop, which is our currency.
Hello? Anybody there?
Are we awake?
Is everyone else all right? The city.
Whatever are you talking about? You are the only soul here. Right.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember seeing a lot of the monster behaviors in Jacob's Ladder and drawing a direct line to Silent Hill.
This place is necessary for you. You're always welcome here.
I've been hospitalized.
I'm afraid I cannot answer that. Please, sign in here.
Yeah, yeah. Sebastian's about to enter a very confusing part of his life.
Without signing in, there is no way to ensure your future memories.
This is our save area and general hub.
This way, please.
Smells like medicine.
It's a curious sign when your currency appears in your HUD without any prompting.
Please, have a seat.
Yeah, ensure your future memories is a great line.
You mustn't fight it. This is for your own good.
No. Stop.
This is an interesting moment, because, I mean, this is like, you have to pay money to unlock the skill tree, and you're doing it against Sebastian's will. It puts, like, you, as a player, knowing what your path to mastery is, and Sebastian's by proxy. It's like, it's almost like you're the doctor, and you're doing what's good for him, even though he doesn't know it. And it's a really interesting tension, because he really doesn't want to do this. But here we go.
There now. You see? All better.
Lady.
And yeah, it's kind of implied that every time you upgrade, one of those little spikes kind of stabs you in the head. Kafka-esque. Yes, indeed.
Waiting.
It's interesting, I mean, comparing this to a game that tried to be more literally Kafka-esque, like the Resident Evil Revelations 2, which
Shit. What the hell is going on?
borrowed heavily from the penal colony.
Where am I?
Like,
Kidman, where are
the
you?
sense of imprisonment, accusation, and uncertain.
Donnelly.
It's like just uncertainty in this game kind of makes it fit that aesthetic more, I think. Let's see. Is this yeah. Okay, so reality still happens when you are here. Just looking at the UI here. The little measurement things. Some jargon, Sebastian Castellanos. And, yeah, more jargon. Oh, hey, free goop. Again, man, No More Heroes does this. I really dig these hard shadows. It's a style I really like. Oh, there we go. Viper, I lied. You can, in fact, sprint. Gotta press a button, and there's stamina involved. Yeah, breaking boxes. That's what I'm here for. Yeah, on my personal YouTube channel, I have a video of Sebastian and The Evil Within 2 breaking every single box in that game except one. And I thought about going back and re-recording that one, but I finally settled on really enjoying the anachronism. About 5 minutes long. It's worth a watch. It's got a good rhythm. I ask for no pardon. I only ask if you're man enough to blame me. This is, this game, when I played this game, it made me think it was like Shinji Mikami's Metal Gear Solid 4, because, you know, MGS4 just took so much of Metal Gear and crammed it in and reworked it and recontextualized a lot of its visuals, and it was very much a remix of everything that came before. And this has very much the same thing with Shinji Mikami's, you know, catalog. This, of course, being the moment when you first encounter a zombie in Resident Evil 1. Appropriately, it is your first enemy, and it is a former unit member. Although the zombie in Resident Evil 1 wasn't your former unit member, he was eating one. Still, the association is there. And the visual cut here is very much the same. Yeah, this right here. Jesus. Sorry, Oscar.
My God, Connolly.
No, he was enjoying a burger, and I'll be honest, I wanted to interrupt him because my jealousy is deep. Or Shadows of the Damned? Oh yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, it's I mean, that was Grasshopper, but I don't know how much Suda did, how much Suda was involved with that one, and I don't mean that skeptically. I mean, I earnestly don't. It is interesting that the reticle stays in the center of the screen, so that regardless of where the camera is looking, you know where your gun is going to be pointed when you fire it. And yeah, no, he he goes for it. Yeah, Oscar wasn't screwing around. No, wrong one. Oh yeah, this is a nice detail I like. So when you pull out your gun, you put the lantern on a hook on the hip, and as you walk around, you still have the reticle out because you still have the gun in your hand, and the lantern stays on your belt. But you can actually put the gun away, and Sebastian will pull the lamp off of its hook. And you can see just a little, let's see, how does that affect visuals? Okay, not at all.
Hurts!
Whoa. Were you warning me about this? You are Leslie, right? I'm a police officer. Maybe I should help you.
Should help you.
Shit. How am I gonna get you to a hospital?
Hospital.
Gotta say, one of the things that makes me very uncomfortable around a tripwire is somebody who
What the
is
fuck?
distressed and fidgety. It's not good. And if you saw there the little blood globules floating around, that's again an example of what I talked about earlier. And now they are gone. You're right. I mean, that honestly, Ark, that should be his first clue that he is in a place where thought and perception have more to do with interacting with the world than physical manipulation, because he can turn it on and off with a thought. Pardon. Oh yeah, matches. This was a mechanic that I don't think made it into the sequel, but I really liked. And I am not going to set this fella on fire because he does not come back. But yeah. The idea is that if you do not set them on fire, they can come back. So you can down them, get them into a stunned state, and finish them off. But that doesn't... but yeah. So I think you can reach a point where you kill them and they're just dead because they have taken all the damage they possibly can. Oh, stomping, that's right. Looks like... I do like that the written text on the visual matches what's on the right. Feels good when that happens.
Shit.
What the? Back here again.
Yeah, I can see that. Matches also had the advantage of, and I don't know if they explore this past the first area, but you can light structures on fire, and that's actually one of the strategies for getting through Akumu difficulty, where your bullets barely do anything, especially at the start. Stealthing is challenging. It's like you run around, get their attention, try to drag them over to a hay bale, and then you light the hay bale on fire, and that sets them on fire, and they're done. But yeah, I don't know if they have other environmental uses like that. Evening, Mirth. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a little while. Oh, that's right. That's right. You burn the webs. I forgot about that. Oh God, I forgot. This game has Laura. Laura. Oh my God, Laura.
A dream, or this is.
Whatever is the matter?
I do like that there is this lore box that that just refreshes, and I'm sure this is unintentional, but it is funny that, you know, using the sort of like skull and spike imagery that's all over the game, in conjunction with the color red and crimson up there, it almost looks Soviet. The headline. Like, it almost looks like a hammer and sickle, even though it's not that. I gotta say, for somebody who's supposed to be distraught and not all there. That is an awfully knowing look at the photographer from Leslie. So, yeah. That's what we want first. Like a model headshot? How do you mean? Nightmare world where Americans have socialized healthcare. It's true. That you have access to anytime you need it. Or at least leveling up, in a way. I'm trying to think. The things that I got the most out of when I played this before. Getting my matches stock up, definitely. And increasing my sprint time. So I think those are what I'm going to focus on and save up for. Oh, a model headshot. Okay, gotcha. I thought you meant model in the sense of like a character model, but no, I see what you're saying. Truly entering the survival horror, that's right. Yeah. Interesting camera work. Something I like about the way they do that, so that's your first sort of tutorial that this is how you get back and forth between the save room. They don't tell you you can come back here anytime. They just leave you to figure that out on your own. And I like that. I like that a lot. Scorch. And I don't think they ever come back. I'm trying to remember what the negative consequences are of not setting them on fire. And I'm pretty sure that stabbing them in the head like that doesn't let them come back, so I'm not sure why I would do that. Yeah, for comparison, let's just show you what this looks like. Turn on the letterboxing. Like with the letterboxing, this is how much of my screen I've got to play with. And wound up feeling frustrating rather than cinematic. This came out in 2014, I believe. Oh, okay. It's an interactable. Would have just been survival horror smearing my face against it. Yeah, sequel was late 2017. Oh, this is fascinating.
Hey, are you guys from around here? I don't know where...
Can't go on.
Yeah, the idea that like this beacon's light is corrupting in this manner is pretty fascinating. Let's see if I can do this here. Oh, I timed it wrong. How do I... oh, right, yes. I forgot. So... okay. I remembered something about throwing a bottle at their face, and I now remember why that's valuable. So if you hit them in the face with a bottle, it stuns them, and you can do a stealth kill like that, which makes that quite a bit easier. That's right, you can use dead bodies as traps for other enemies if they walk over. That's, yes. 2012 to 2014. I think it's useful to have dry periods like that for gaming. I think it helps you get a different perspective on it when you return to it. I likewise had a period of like a couple of years where I didn't play video games at all, and then Resident Evil Remake changed that. Nope. It's neat to see a game with stealthing that no longer has, that does not have a mechanic that I am just now coming to realize is, I guess, sort of standard now, which is a ability to see your enemies through the environment. I know that The Last of Us did that, and you know, Joel could hold his breath, and I guess that gives him the ability to track enemies by footsteps. And I know Ghost of Tsushima did that as well. You could... Come on, brother. What you doing? Turning around? Nope. There you go. It has a similar function where you can see enemies through walls. And on the harder difficulties of The Last of Us, you know, they disable that, so you have to actually explore, exercise caution, and so on. But with Ghost of Tsushima, like, you can't really turn that off. It's something that's available at all times. And so I'm wondering if that's something that AAA third-person adventure games with sneaking components are now going to consider, like, if that's going to be considered like a standard mechanic. I agree. He's, I mean, he's Detective Castellanos. Doesn't need no magic third eye. Oh, thank God, I need this. Nope, that's not how you... Oh. Okay. 2 buttons punch. Let's see. Yeah, nothing else in here. if I remember right, disarming those traps becomes important. Oh. Disarming those traps becomes important because you can get gears from them. It's your way of collecting crafting parts, which you can then use to make different kinds of ammunition.
I feel like I'm being pulled just looking at it.
This is such a cool moment. I really like that they give you this. Like, there's nothing really to be gained here, just a moment where you and Sebastian can watch this weird light from the mental institution that collapsed and dragged everything into this. That is now apparently at the center of a reformed world, and that's very mysterious. And yeah, it's also spatially strange because, as far as we know, we are still spatially oriented toward the initial Beacon Hospital, where we drove an ambulance away from, had a car crash from, woke up to, and got to this village. So it should be impossible that the light tower would be present at that location. We haven't started jumping back and forth between realities yet, to our knowledge, that is. You're right, it does have that kind of feeling, doesn't it? Right. See if I can get this guy. And also hope that I have not accidentally attracted anybody's attention. I gotta say, that was a nice dramatic strike of lightning. Gotcha. The geographic location reminds you of Dark Souls 2, where elevators take you to places that couldn't possibly on top of or below each other. That's interesting. Yeah, I think that games that can achieve that kind of disorientation really do succeed in having a dreamlike feel, which I feel that Dark Souls 2 achieved more so than the others in the series. I think he might be alive. I was wrong. He's doing just fine. Here we go. You, however, You can stay down. I think these keys are used in the dream space to unlock special caches of bonus items. I'm not going to mess with that. I was wrong the last time I thought someone was playing possum. Also, I have no reason to come back here, so that's fine. I find that my tastes in how I like to approach problem solving in games, they're very polar, because there's some games like this that I absolutely love the stealthing, I love the tension, I love the sneaking, and it all feels very good. But many other games with action elements, I really just want to barge through and kind of God hand my way through it. Despite this game having a competent shooter component, I find myself not wanting to do that. Oh, damn it! If I remember right, these guys can do one of the things that some of the Ganados could do in RE4, which is even after you have headshot them, their bodies can still run at you and throttle you. If you set them on fire, I believe they have the same kind of momentum. I've actually never finished Dark Souls 2. It's something I keep meaning to go back to, but every time I restart it, I tend to get lost a lot easier, which is, I guess, ironic because it, you know, it has probably the most circular, you know, hub world design out of any of them, but I often forget where my next point of advancing is, where I need to go next to move the story forward, and I kind of give up. This is not a special mirror. Ooh! There we go. Let's just unthread that needle. Oh, Jesus! Oh, man. Yeah, he didn't even come at me from behind. Just charged me like Oscar did. Oh, God. No, 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 no! Disarming... Oh, well. Cool. Oh, Jesus. Nope! Brother! Amazing. How do I reload? There we go, like that. That's weird. I still see the blood icons. And I'm not sure what they're in reference to. Is it, is there a bear trap out here? Yeah, because they show up here. Huh. Well, whatever. No, Murphy knows that throwing things is his bread and butter. Sebastian is a little more competent and therefore feels himself free to slack in other areas. I like this headcanon that we're creating. Keep trying to follow Sebastian's head movements to see if he's like responding to something that I should know about in the environment, but I don't think that he is. I think that he's just, ooh! He's got those bird head movements. Maybe this is what the globs were indicating on the other side of that wall. Yep, almost certainly. Yeah. Is there a bottle back here I can grab? Oh God, who is it? I heard a screech. Nope, not that. At least I thought I did. Apparently not. Oh God! Jesus. Let's do the old arm stab there. I thought that he had followed me back to the beginning of the level, and so I did not expect him to be right there. Surely not set to downpour. Thought I changed that right at the start. Let's see. Fantastic. Thank you, Twitch. Hold on one sec. Let me fix that. Evening, Boogle. Thank you for catching that. Okay. That should do it. Man, I forgot how much this first area is just excruciating. Like, I feel so afraid of it. Ooh. Yeah. No, we're not gonna deal with that. Game is actually quite good about showing how punishing the enemies are with head-on engagement during that first sequence where I can kill all of them.
God.
That it makes very clear that trying to deal with all of these
Just keep doing what you're doing.
would be a very bad idea. Okay.
Get out of here.
Oh, God.
God damn it.
Sebastian showing off some action hero moves that I have absolutely no access to in the game. I bet we can make it through Chapter 3 tonight. I have a friend who, he and I stayed up all night one night playing through Outlast and agreed between ourselves that we would never subject ourselves to that experience ever again. So this is a friend with whom I feel comfortable being a colossal baby with survival horror. But I have the distinction of being the braver one between the two of us. And every time we play Resident Evil 4, he can't play through the village. It's just too tense for him. And I can play through it because I can see it and feel it as an action game. This village sequence right here is the equivalent to me what the village in Resident Evil 4 is for him. This is very hard for me to deal with because it's very tense. Pardon. Well, Viper, I also think that it's part of this game being like, you know, Mikami's MGS4, that it just has so many different references to Mikami games, both in their design, iconic images like the first monster you get to. I kind of feel like this is atmospherically a sequel to that for him. Oh, charming. Boy.
Shit.
And this is going to be a new way of experiencing this, because by virtue of it being on stream, I feel a sense of responsibility to an audience to not sneak around like a coward constantly. But that is absolutely my impulse, to skulk like this all the time. But that would take forever, so I'm going to try and play it a little more dynamically. While also exercising due caution.
She's gone.
Oh, weird. Am I not allowed access to that save room? Oh, there we go. They sped up the pace of this moment for the sequel, but I like the fact that you have to hold the X button for like a whole second or two in this game. It gives you that sense of Sebastian just like staring into this bright light until he dissociates and then reawakens in another environment. I think it's cool. It kind of helps me get into his head more. Pardon.
You should find this useful. This way, please.
Where are you taking me? You don't talk much.
Detective Castellanos, do you have a key like this? That key will allow you to open this door.
All right. Let's see what fate has in store for us. More bullets.
The contents are
Fantastic.
yours. Please come back whenever you
This is
need
something about this execution of this mechanic that I like very much. You know, a lot of times you get like surprise equipment boxes and things like that in games, but sometimes you wind up opening something that you already have enough of, or it's, in this case, exceeds your stock max. Give me 1 second. Twitch just disappeared because my iPad died. Open chat back up here. There we go. But if this game keeps the specific stock and type of equipment available, regardless of whether or not you pick all of it up. This is also neat. I like how, both for the sake of convenience of being able to exit the save area anytime you want, and also just for creating an extra bit of strangeness, how the little shattered glass that allows you to transport in between worlds shows up not merely in mirrors, but also in just glass surfaces around the save area. That's neat. Oh wait, but I actually meant to upgrade some abilities first.
Whatever is the matter?
And the nurse, of course, acts as though that I've gone nowhere and am just standing around. Let's see. I still feel like I want to increase that maximum sprint damage, so I'm going to save up for that. Maximum sprint duration, not damage. Words. Oh yeah, these traps. Whew. Doing those traps is interesting from a sense of examining my own reaction time, because I know how long roughly it takes for a signal to get from my brain to my thumb, because the time I send the command and the time it responds is about half a second, so I actually have to recognize that I want to press the button before it actually gets into the red area, so that when it finally makes it to the blue area, my hand is actually pressing the button. It's and it didn't used to be that way. It used to be much more 1-1 of an experience, or of a interaction. If I'm remembering right, I think that noise calls someone. And I don't know if I wanted to do that or not. Okay, I guess no one heard.
Who's there?
No, don't shoot. I'm not one of them. I'm a doctor. Marcelo.
Brain lag.
You were in the ambulance
Yeah.
before it crashed, right?
Yeah, no,
Yes,
that's
we're lucky to be alive.
as video games
Seen anyone else?
gradually
Leslie.
become
I saw him
controllable
running up ahead.
through neural shunts
But
into the backs of our
This way.
skulls. That will
Quiet
be
behind you.
a test of different gamers' abilities.
Have a look for yourself. Those things chased me all the way into the village.
Me too. They're all over the place.
This too is like an RE4 moment, right? Leon pulls out his binoculars, uses them once in the entire game,
There are too many to shoot our way
and
through.
never again.
One of us could try to lure them away while the other gets the gate open. You're the one with the gun.
If you say so.
What?
Damn them both. There is a crank on the terrace. You'll need to operate it if I'm to pass through.
I was too busy breaking boxes to really find out what he was doing. Whoops. Just gonna check out. I don't think I want to go there yet.
Over here! Here! Hey! Over here! That's right, this way!
That old guy's gonna get himself killed.
This model just blipped out. Huh. It's neat, that guy who was hacking open the door continued hacking it after it opened, so he just kind of like shifted over to continue doing that. And if I'm remembering this sequence correctly, and I think I am, at the end, everybody comes out. And you pretty much have to, you're fighting the chainsaw guy while being chased around by literally everybody in the village. That's weird. So the more people you kill prior to that encounter, the easier it is. Yeah. There we go. It is kind of an Alice in Wonderland situation. We're in the mind of a serial killer who has annexed everybody. Ooh. Oh, damn it. Can I do this? Is he dumb enough? I guess he is. Nice. Okay. I move my head in real life, as though that will give me more information. I didn't see where he went, which kind of makes this worse. Okay. Put my back against the wall and get my bearings. Okay. Oh, yes. These things are one-hit kills. Did I get anybody's attention? Doesn't look like it. So cool. You don't have a head, and you are not a threat. Oh, I forgot to collect my winnings. You're right. I mean, the fact that the bottles can withstand so many crates being destroyed against their edges really proves that, really proves the quality of the craftsmanship. Yeah, there we go. That's who I was looking for. Is it a pincher situation? Is there somebody over there? Looks like there is not. But I definitely want that torch to set someone on fire. Never noticed it before, but their eyes have a glowing effect, kind of like Beacon's lighthouse. It's kind of a neat detail. Chunk. Do I get any goo points for that, or? It appears I do not. Is anybody down here? There is. You missed. Ah, yes, I want this. And now, let's level up that sprint time.
Oh, well. You should take better care of yourself.
Cool. I think the next thing that I want to save up for is increasing...
Have you forgotten something?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and save here. Increasing the crossbow's ability, because the crossbow is the only weapon that you can actually make ammunition for, which makes it very valuable. So being able to increase its draw time, damage, etc. is a really smart thing to do. So, and with that, I'm pretty sure I've cleared out all the enemies in these couple of buildings. So, good. Yeah, let's just... What? Yeah, you're alive. Cool. Thanks, Viper. I'm really glad you came by. I miss hanging out with you, too. How am I this bad? Okay, cool. So shooting them to where they fall down on the ground and then using a match is a really quick and effective way of killing them. I don't think I remembered that. But that means it is time to go back and start recollecting these matches that were left lying around. Pretty sure there were some over here that I didn't pick up. I must have gotten those. Do wish I hadn't wasted those 2 matches on the guys who were hanging. If I had known that it was going to be basically dry fire, I wouldn't have done that. Ooh, I don't want to walk there. That seems like a quick way of dying. This also reminds me of Resident Evil 4's watchtower in the opening area, where you could climb up here, get a bird's eye view of the town. Oh no! Oh. Okay, it turned out fine. I didn't know you could do that. But I'm seeing some globs here. I thought I saw signs of a trap, but I guess not. Well, now I'm out of bullets. Thank you, Ark. That is in fact my master plan. A strategy that to many seems wise in retrospect, after they failed to follow it.
Better find cover.
Oh, God. Forgot about the rifleman. I know there's a trap in that room that I can use that lever to activate. But yeah, this is one of the reasons why this feels like RE4 Part 2, because it's got this same scenario, very similar environment, but it's a lot more tense. Okay. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I heard the sound of someone throwing a bottle. Oh, yes, 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 come on. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. The Agony Crossbow. Very good. Nope. Well, okay. 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 Oh, wow. You don't even need to, there's no crafting time or anything. You just press the button and it's done. We are in an amalgam of minds, actually. And that's one of the things that makes this environment a little more interesting than just wandering in the mind of a serial killer. We wander through Sebastian's memories, through Kidman's memories, through Ruvik's memories, and Ruvik is kind of the core persona holding all of this together, but he's kind of siphoning content, relevant memories, and places from other people who are connected to him in this environment. And that's how this environment is made. Yeah, I think it's neat too. It's one of the reasons why it's a more interesting horror scenario for me. Oh, hey. Cool. Anybody else up here? Excellent. Oh wait, let's see. How do I assign that? Okay, cool. That's how I assign that. And let's leave health alone. Yeah. I like this. They're just giving me all these weapons right off the start. So I don't have to wait till like the second act to get the shotgun. You kind of know that that's your starting arsenal. That's the point where the gameplay sort of picks up for real. And they just lead right into it. It's good.
How did you get it open so quickly?
You're welcome to give it a try.
Please, time is of the essence. It is imperative we find Leslie before anything should happen to him.
It's just, Oh. Well, I thought it was an enemy, and now I guess I'm just disrespectful to the dead. So, hold on. Okay, so this is kind of like my yellow herb combination in RE4 that gradually increases my health.
Experiment number 4. Subject numbers 4 through 13. Brainwave activity diminished, but synchronization achieved. Subjects should begin experiencing a shared consciousness.
Yeah, this is that shared mind
Previous trials
business.
indicated rapid deterioration of consciousness. Their minds became an exquisite mass, an amalgam of mental carrion. I'll have to connect myself if I want to experience their terror before it diminishes.
Still not convinced you're not going to come back to life, but okay. Evening, Mexican Sting. It's good to meet you. How are you? Okay, there's that fella down there. There's a dude there with a rifle. Oh my god. Let's see. Excellent. Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the essay. And yeah, no, suspenders are kind of my bread and butter. I've been told that it has a hipster feel to it, but I just wear them. What is going on here? Trying to find out where that noise came from because I kind of feel like someone's breaking into the house, and that's exactly what's happening. Ah! Anybody else down here? Okay, cool. I hear her upstairs. I would like for her to come down so I can activate the trap. Let's see. Why, thank you. It's very kind of you to say. Yoink. Okay, that turned out well. Despite expectations. Oh, I've got a new weapon to assign to the slot now. I thought I saw something in here, but I guess not. With all of this accomplished, it's a pretty good time to embrace my cowardice and just do a safety save.
Forgotten something?
This was directed by Shinji Mikami. It's I think his first post-Capcom game. And yeah, that's Claire de Lune. That's the save room's signature, like acoustic signature. Yeah, the mind meld is what interests me most as well. Like the idea of a world created through shared memories is a fascinating setting. Suspenders are also an essential part of, I mean, me leaving the house, I'm gonna be honest. I find belts very uncomfortable. Yes, more bullets. Yeah, well, that is true. That is true. No leaving the house allowed these days. Okay, I think I'm getting close to being ready to release this dude. Because we have, in a very weird twist, the sadist who previously had free run, excuse me, of his own shop is now chained up down there. Let's disarm this. Yeah, the moment you attack him, he starts to chase you around. Not the best scenario if you haven't cleared out a lot of people yet. Yeah. The level design also has an RE4 Mercenaries feel to it, because kind of the way the Mercenaries games, mercenary minigame, always gave you room to flee. You could always fight and keep moving forward. Oh. You could always fight and keep moving forward, and that's something that this area allows you, in particular in light of the chase that's going to happen when this guy gets free. Evening, Peacher Vine. Yeah, I had a little bit of a late start because I realized about 15 minutes before the stream was due to start, I hadn't actually loaded the game onto my PS4, so had to do that as a technical requirement. Aw, cute fella. Mercenaries mode was a delight. Anybody behind me? Yes, there is. Can I get to you before... No, you have stopped your patrol route. Yeah, it was a PS3 and 360 game. I have it on PC. This is actually the... Please don't have burst out. Okay, cool. This was the first game that I had the option between buying on console or PC, and then opted for the PC version because there's a letterboxing effect that was on the original, designed to make it more cinematic in feel, that frustrated me because it just wound up sort of occluding your vision on top and bottom. And in a game where it's a shooter and you have enemies above and below you, that's just really important information. So I found that you could turn that off on the PC, and that influenced my returning the original to Target, and there we go. Returning the original to Target and dropping that $60 into Steam. Okay. But this is a PS4 remaster, cool. And I'm not sure if it's a remaster so much as just a straight port, honestly. Tony Hawk 1? Wow. It's a while back. Back when retail stores were selling PS1 games. Oh, Jesus. Come on, buddy. No! I forgot where I signed anything. Yes. Alright, match strategy came in handy. Thank you, Toe, for reminding me of that. Okay, dude's still chained up. Oh, that's cute. I really like when games have the tactical environmental option. Like bottles. I'm very curious to know who broke that window. And whether they now, or in the near future, have designs on my mortality. Alright, we're both terrible. I mean, honestly, that almost seems more like... Ugh! Almost seems like we had our own secret code there for a second. Cool. He's watching, we can't leave. That, if I'm remembering right, so everybody is hooked up to this giant machine. Frigid? Yeah, Mirth was asking about the sort of like consciousness mind melding. There is a giant machine that everybody is hooked up to that connects them to this shared reality. And over time, as it has been developed by, you know, standard nefarious, oh god, organization, people have been, you know, kidnapped from the countryside and brought in and hooked up to it, and in essence their minds and memories have been drained and placed in this environment, which is why you have all these people here. They were at one point hooked up to the machine, and they died while attached to it. And it's kind of the thing where, like, if you die in the dream, you stay in the dream. That sort of scenario. Buddy, I'm talking to you. All right. Stay down. Wait a minute, what? I totally skewered you. Well, unfortunately, the contextual interactions in this one are not as detailed as they are in like RE4 or something, where you know, you get special moments like that depending on whether or not they're near a railing or something like that. I mean, it is more subtle, but it's not exactly you know, cradling the victim, pulling them behind a rock and dealing with them in stealthy silence. It's actually kind of maybe one of the more widely broadcast stealth kills, which creates a kind of chutzpah for Sebastian that I quite like. If you're gonna stealth kill someone, stealth kill them in the open. As a warning to anybody else you might possibly sneak around. Yeah, I think you're onto kind of what the title is getting at, Mirth. It's like it's supposed to be like the evil within the mind, the evil within Rubik's mind in particular. But since everybody is hooked up to this machine and they're sort of like collaborating on this nightmare, it's like, you know, the evil within all of them. This is another game like Resident Evil that has two titles depending upon region. The Japanese title is called Psycho Break, which I find
Great. There's got to be
less
something we can do
satisfying.
with this. Maybe a chainsaw or something.
Than I find that less satisfying than the Evil Within. Kind of similar to the way that I find Biohazard less interesting than Resident Evil. That said, I still do find the Evil Within a little less interesting than I would like for it to be. So, okay. I think we're about ready to fight this guy, but before we are, I'm gonna save this game. Yeah, the sequel came out to this. As a matter of fact, Mexican Sting, if you are interested in driving off the map, I wrote what is conceptually a sequel to that essay about the Evil Within 2. So this game sets up a follow-up piece of writing from me that looks at how a game tells its story through the disconnect and tension between player and playable character. So I'm going to be streaming through this game and the sequel probably over the next few months. I'll be keeping at it on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you want the background on that material without playing it yourself, please continue to come by and you'll see the whole thing. So this puts us at the point where we are ready to take care of big fella here. And I'm not sure what we need to do to trigger it. That's what we need to do to trigger it. Oh! No, Sebastian! Oh, God. Man. Don't put an interactable object next to the ladder. I was trying to go up the ladder and get away from him, but instead I stalled and grabbed the axe. It's not what I wanted to do. But yeah. So, that's why I'm glad I saved. No, it's also... Yeah, that's right, it didn't autosave, so good on me for doing it. Yeah, it's also kind of a throwback to one of the more shocking moments in, I think, RE4, where, you know, Dr. Salvatore, the chainsaw guy, can, in fact, one-shot you like that. Okay. out of here. Coming, fella. So one of the ways to kill this guy is to kill him with a knife. And you do that by stunning him and gutting him. And get the hell out of here.
Gotta take this guy down fast.
And let's make us some flash bolts. Close your eyes, pigs. Oh man, Jack Handy. I haven't thought about Jack Handy forever. Oh. No, those are explosive bolts that are in there. Oh, not a great place to be. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I could cheese him here, but I don't want to. But I am going to mockingly heal myself in his presence. Later, nerd. Yeah, run into the trap. Cool. That was nifty.
I better hold on to this.
Yeah, there's sort of a dream logic quality to it, where when you defeat them, they disappear in kind of a video game fashion, but they are all ultimately part of Ruvik's nightmare. He's the one who's sort of the hub persona in all this, and they all return to him. But there is a sense of actually accomplishing something, because these are there are limited quantities of them, right? He's not just producing them endlessly. And yeah, Viper, his weak spot was a large explosive that he ran into head on. I'm actually really glad that I didn't catch that, because I would have tried to take that trap apart and use it. So, and Mexican Sting, I'm actually curious what the Jack Handy joke is. Oh man. I'm gonna have to look at the replay later, but I really hope I didn't kill those pigs with a flash bolt. Oh, okay. No worries then. I remember going to like Barnes and Noble with my parents and hanging around the humor section in the bookstore and reading Jack Handy compilations, Dave Barry books, all sorts of stuff like that. So this is one of my favorite moments in this entire game, and the creepiness of the environment, the tension, sold me, but this told me that I was home. Got a giant chain? Of course, use a chainsaw. It's so good. It's so stupid. And he just throws it on the ground. Like, it didn't break the chainsaw. He's just like, he's a man with one plan for the object, and that's it.
Wait! Over here! Wait, officer.
Evening, Ark. Thanks for coming by. We're actually about to save and call it for the night, so you're not going to miss too much, but I hope you have a great day at work, and it's great to see you. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you for finding that. Yeah, those are good gags where you know, he breaks the mold, and instead of doing something very pithy and sort of like an epigram, he just like tells this rambling story that that goes nowhere, has no good moral, and yeah, it's just, you kind of imagine that's kind of what Jack Handy is like when he's by himself. So, but yeah. Stench of Honolulu. No, I haven't read that, but I'll check that out. Thank you for the recommendation. My reading list shuffles, and that sounds like something that would add a good bit of variety to it. But thank you for coming out. I do hope you come back on the next stream. I'm going to be doing the next part of Silent Hill Downpour on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we're playing through that one blind. I've never played that game before in my life, so we're all kind of experiencing it for the first time, and it's a lot of fun. And I'm gonna do part 2 of The Evil Within on Saturday of next weekend. So, yeah. Oh, hold on one second. Oh, really quick, like the book's really quick. Cool, yeah, thank you. Yeah, come on out again, and everybody who has come out to the stream on the regular, who came out, thank you for coming out again, and I hope to see you next time. Have a great night. Oh. Yeah, have a great night, Viper, Mirth, Theodore. What did I just do? Oh, yeah, I just cycled it back around to this input. Oh, hold on. That's not... I did it again. Oh, right. Yeah, hold on. Let's see if it's the third time's a charm. There you go. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.